Do you have something inspiring to say? Have you always known that your voice can contribute to the world? Is now the time? Yes, now is the time. The world is waiting for you. Welcome to the Inspired Choices Network Open Mic Spotlight Show. Today, we have an inspiring guest who is ready to share their voice with the world. Now, onto the show.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Open Mic Spotlight Show. I am your host today, Christine McIver, and we are interviewing another one of our contestants. We actually have a wonderful contest going on right now, the radio show contest, where one of our contestants can win 3 months of their own radio show. This has been so much fun. We are just having a blast, and we're not even near done yet. So how lucky are we? We actually have, you can hear giggling in the background, we actually have our contestant, Jody Ann with us today. And Jody Ann is going to be telling us all about her suggestion in her prospective show, and it's pretty unique. If you've been listening along, if you've been playing along, you've been hearing about lots of the contestants, and Jody Ann's is a little different, so that's a lot of fun. And you know what, we love them all. But Jody Ann's show is called Uniquely Rocking It, so I can't wait to hear all about this one. So here we go. Let me tell you a little bit about Jody Ann. She was born and raised in New England, where her heart remains. She currently resides in the hills of West Virginia with her husband. She has 2 grown children with their spouses. They have 3 grandchildren that call her, oh, you're going to have to pronounce that one, Mémère?
No, it's French, Mémère. It's the
Mémère.
Canadian.
Thank you.
It's the Canadian French equivalent of Nana.
Well, there you go. See, there's a Canadian connection here. And
yep.
when the grandchildren call her that, it melts her heart. She has collected rocks as long as she can remember. As a child, she came home with rocks and or shells, and still does, and now her house is covered with them. She says, I love the energy and healing they bring. Jody Ann collects spheres as well and loves to wire wrap so the stones can be worn. She keeps her wrap simple so the stone is the star rather than the wrap. I like that. Jody Ann loves the healing aspects of crystals and rocks and enjoys sharing her love of rocks. She is taking the Hibiscus Moon Certified Crystal Healer course and loves her approach because Jody Ann comes from a science background as well. She has a degree in medical lab technology. Her daughter, Stephanie Wilkins, recently joined her in her business, and they together launched their website, flutterbynaturally.com. They also have a business page on Facebook, same name, Flutter by Naturally, as well as Instagram, which I know I'm connected with them. So welcome to the show, Jody Ann. So glad you're here with us today.
Thank you. So happy to be here. This is fun and exciting and has made me start thinking in all new possibilities. So,
woohoo! Well, we are all about possibilities here on the Inspired Choices Network, so that really makes me smile a lot.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get right into this. What has you desiring to have a radio show here on the network?
Well, I have a lot of knowledge and understanding, and I find myself always explaining it to people in chats, and this would be an ideal way to get some of that information out to others, like how do these rocks work? How do they help you? What does this work for? How can I use grids? How can I, all kinds of questions, and I could address some of these things.
That would be good. I'm sure we're going to have lots of those questions for you today. Do you have a lot of people kind of sometimes turn their head to the side like, huh? Rocks?
People will ask me what I do, and I say, I sell rocks, and they just look at me. But that's what I do. But that opens the dialogue. So, yeah, it's a little flip, but that's honestly what I do. I sell rocks.
So
but that's the platform.
So you started doing this as a young child. Now, you were interestingly born in Canada, which is my home country.
No, I was not born in Canada. I'm second generation American, but my grandparents immigrated from Canada.
Oh, okay, I get it. And where did they immigrate from?
New Brunswick,
which is Canada.
Yeah.
And where were they? Where's their ancestors originally from?
Originally, we were from France, but
okay.
But they immigrated to from New Brunswick down into Massachusetts for a better life for their kids. And my dad and his siblings were born in this country, and then I was. So my maiden name is Boudreaux. So I'm French, and that's where the Mémère comes from. That's a French equivalent of Nana, and it's different from what everybody else is called, and the kids say it just fine, even the little ones.
Well, so. That's great. So you are unique for sure.
and that's what I called my father's parents were Mémère and Pepe, and so I'm Mémère.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So what, as a young child, you were collecting rocks and shells.
I've always picked them up.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us do pick them up, but what is it for you that's different, that's had you actually do this as a business?
Well, I think a lot of the talks that I've been listening to, I can relate to a lot of what they're saying in my past in terms of, healing, and I've chosen to leave a lot of it behind and move forward. But I also started to recognize that there was comfort in the rocks and that they had healing aspects and healing properties. Mm-hmm. And as I began to explore that more, something that had always brought me joy anyways now had bigger meanings and bigger depths. And so I just started looking at that more. And like I said in my bio, I have a science background. I've always been the child that wanted to know why and why not, and why can't I? And so it took me a while to fully come to terms with it because I couldn't really answer that until a few years ago. Like I said, I really like Hibiscus Moon because she was a science teacher at a college level, and she approaches it from a very science nature and science background. And that's something I can appreciate because now the whys can be answered for me. And so it started making sense to me, and it started resonating with what I knew in my life. And so I don't know, it started small, and then it just like mushroomed till I had this full-blown business selling rocks. But when I sell them, I don't just, I say that, and that is the simplistic, but whenever you come to a sale of mine or on my website, you will see that I list the healing properties. I list what they're good for, what they're useful for, so that people can see that and begin that, whether they buy it because they like it or because they're looking for that healing. But if you find yourself drawn to a certain rock, if you say, oh my God, I've just been so drawn to fill in the blank, it doesn't matter what it is, then I'm going to tell you that there's probably something in that rock that you need, something in your person that's calling out, and needing what's in that rock, whether it's a type of healing, or whether it's physical or emotional or something that rock has that it's resonating with you to bring you about healing and wholeness.
Right.
There's a reason that we're drawn to them.
So what was it about rocks for you that drew you in? Like was it the science of them? Was it the energy healing of them? Was it they were pretty? Like what was it specifically for you?
I think originally because they were pretty. Because I could control them, and it was one of the few things I could control in my life because my childhood was not a pretty one. And so it was something that was pretty and that I could control and that I could have. and they didn't let me down.
Uh-huh.
I think that's where it started, but then it grew. For all of those reasons, I like nature. I'm always barefoot. Right now, I'm sitting here barefoot, and if I go next door to my daughter's house, even though we had it dusty and snow, I will go over barefoot. I put shoes on if I have to. I'm into what we call earthing and tuning into the earth and grounding myself and being grounded and drawn to the earth. And
Right.
rocks are part of that.
Right. So you were drawn to them because they were pretty, and then as you started to have them, what did you start to notice for yourself with having these rocks in your life?
I started noticing that at different times in my life I was drawn to different kinds of rocks, different colors, different types. And then as I started growing and healing myself and leaving things behind, those rocks weren't as pertinent to me anymore. Not that I didn't like them, but new rocks would be like, "Ooh, I really like that one," you know? And I was drawn to different ones. So then I started looking at why was I drawn to carnelian all these years, and all of a sudden it doesn't faze me anymore, but now I'm drawn to Larimar, you know? And so I just started noticing that what I was drawn to changed.
Okay.
As I changed.
Okay. And so what was it for you that those rocks, what did they contribute to you? Like what did they, I mean, besides being beautiful, what did you notice they were actually giving you?
Well, we know that everything is made of energy, right?
Right.
Well, rocks are also energy, and they are much more stable than what we are. We're made up of many chemistries and many entities, and so we're not as stable. We're a little more likely to be thrown out of kilter.
Us? Come on.
Yeah, I know. How silly of me, I know. But a rock is a stable chemical compound, a stable crystal structure, and so it holds its energy or dormant or oscillatory rate much more, much better than we do. So we entrain to them easily.
Awesome. Wow, you do know your science.
So then it made sense to me because, they made me feel good, but what you're asking, why? And that bugged me, and it was like, why? Well, then when I started understanding the science of it, it made sense to me. It's like, okay, well, because if you hold two tuning forks, they're the same, and you strike one, the other one will start playing if it's in the vicinity. It entrains to it. Oh. It's the same principle. It's like physics. So, and we have, our bodies, we're made up of crystals. We've got water, and we've got quartz, and we've got, copper and magnesium and all kinds of stuff in us. But we're complex, and so it's not simple. And so we go out of tune easily. We have to work at it. I mean, all the shows we've been listening to.
Is that why my mother used to say he needs a tune-up?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. All the shows we've been listening to, we have to constantly work at keeping us in tune, keeping us, keeping our minds in the right place, making sure we manifest what the universe wants us to, making sure, and that's why, because our bodies are complex things made up of all kinds of, water and crystals and minerals, and if it gets out of balance, it's not at its prime running. And whereas, you take a quartz crystal, and a quartz crystal is here I'm going to say I've had a stroke over the last year, and things don't come to my brain as easily, so I'm not going to pretend to say what the chemicals are without looking it up. But it is that chemical no matter what form it's in, no matter whether it's cloudy, clear, cracked, has phantoms, whatever it is, it's still a quartz crystal. It still has the same chemical compound, and it still has the same crystalline form inside, whether you can see it or not. If you have a quartz point, you can see it because it's on a macular way, but if it's not, you can't see it at the microscopic level, but it's still the same, and it's the same no matter what. So it holds its vibration easily. So it doesn't entrain to us, we entrain to it.
Nice. I like that. Wow, we got so much action in the chat room.
Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. I love it. Wow, I've never had anyone explain this so clearly.
See, now it makes sense. Somebody asked what my favorite crystal is. Right now, my favorite rock is Mémère. I absolutely adore it.
Okay. Well, we're up for our first commercial, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to take some of the questions in the chat room. If anybody wants to call in and ask Jody a question direct, you're welcome to. And we're going to see where else we're going to dance. So stay tuned, everyone. You are listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Show and our guest today is Jody Ann Roy. We will be right back.
Do you have something inspiring to say? Would you like a taste of being one of our inspired hosts? Get on the air on the Inspired Choices Network Open Mic Spotlight Show. The Open Mic Spotlight Show is your time to shine and inspire our global audience. Shows air at 9 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week. Claim your spot today. Simply contact our network owner at info@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Forget the days of 5 minutes of fame. Now you can have 55 minutes of fame.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
You are listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Show here on Inspired Choices Network. To call in and ask questions, call 815-880-8255 in the U.S., 613-800-8736 in Canada, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now back to the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a wonderful guest today, one of our contestants, Jody Ann Roy, and she's talking all about rocks. And her radio show proposal is uniquely rocking it. And let me just tell you, if you're not in the chat room, get over there because she's rocking the chat room too while she's doing the show live. How does it get any better? So, Jody Ann, where would you like to take us? Tell me, what is it for you about that really intrigued you about doing a radio show? What was it about doing that and with the elements of rocks that really drew you in?
Well, it had never occurred to me until I saw it.
Okay, I think we just lost you.
It was like, that's out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, good.
You there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I can still hear you. Sorry, I'm plugged in. I'm not wireless.
Good. So continue.
Okay. I'm sorry. What did you ask me? Oh, the radio show. So I saw it, and my immediate response is, that's way out of my comfort zone. I think we could use this. I think we can make this work. And then when I broached the subject, I had people saying to me, oh, my God, I've been looking for a class. Oh, my gosh, I've been looking to learn this. Oh, my goodness, you could, and it has sort of snowballed, and it's started me thinking. I think I said this to you in an email. It's got my mind going a million miles a minute because I didn't realize that there was a need and a desire to learn. As prevalent as it is, I mean, I knew it was out there, but I didn't realize there was the need that I'm finding since I applied for this. And so now I'm like, okay, how can I meet this need? How can my business meet this need? I've always in my sales put out information like what the rocks are used for. I try to, on my business page and stuff, put out information like how I keep track of my personal collection and how I catalog it and, what my thoughts are on cleansing and retuning your rocks, things like this. But I had never looked at the bigger picture or seen, that there was a bigger need. And,
right.
And when I saw this and decided, let's go for this. And in doing that and then sharing it on my timeline and on my, webpage and stuff, which is brand new, by the way. So, that's
nice.
brand new.
That's awesome.
We're just starting to expand beyond really my business started on Facebook, and I'm really trying to expand beyond the walls of Facebook and get into Instagram and Twitter and the website. And so now this just has me thinking, okay, where else can I go with this?
Right.
What else can I do? How can I help people learn what I know?
Right.
And I don't pretend to know it all. I'll never know it all. I'm always one for learning. I'll keep learning as long as I can.
Cool. That's
but
awesome.
what I do know, I'm willing to share.
Fabulous. So we have a question in the chat room. Do you have a favorite type of rock?
I do right now, and I say right now because that does change occasionally, but right now my favorite rock is Larimar. I just adore it. It reminds me of the ocean and the sea, and I find the beach and the ocean feeds my soul. So,
okay, so describe this rock for us.
It if you look at a pool or a picture of a pool that's been rippled and you see all those wave of, not waves, but, all the lines that are created in that blue liner of a pool, that's what a classic Larimar looks like.
And what's the energy of one of those stones?
For me, it's very calming and healing, and it's just peaceful.
Okay. And so where is that stone actually mined?
It's only found in one place in the world, the Dominican Republic. Some think it's from the lost world of Atlantis. It's sometimes called the Dolphin Stone. And it's only able to be mined at certain times of the year, even because the place where they found it is sometimes underwater. So, it really is a rock of the water.
A rock of the water. How cool is that? Wow. So you really have been studying your rocks.
I do. If I do anything, I do it.
Okay. We're kind of getting that. So what inspires you about the rocks and what you're doing?
About the rocks. I just see people get excited about it. I see people, I see the light come on when they start to understand it, like what I just explained. And you said, oh, I've never heard it explained that way. That excites me. It excites me that I can help people understand instead of it just being a blind faith. I've never been one good about blind faith. There's some things that are okay with blind faith, but I've always been, like I say, since a small child, I want to know why. And so...
Were you that annoying child in your family?
I was. Yeah, but you know what? I had really good grades because of it.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah, I was. But it's okay because it gave me an inquiring mind, as they say.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, Jody Ann, what do you imagine you're going to be impacting in the world with a global radio show? Like, what do you imagine you're going? I mean, you're in your own business, and most of us, that are on the network are in our own businesses as well. But what is it about your show in particular that's going to be unique to contribute to a global platform?
Well, I think just that better understanding of what and how they can be used, and how to care for them, how they can be used in your daily life, what they can be used for.
Right. So what kind of topics would you be considering talking about? Like, would you be looking at different stones and going in depth in each radio show about a particular stone or a family of stones?
Family of stones, most likely. I would also look at grids and, the components of grids and how and what makes them work, how to set them up, how to use a pendulum, stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I have no knowledge whatsoever about grids, so tell us more about grids.
See? Grids are when you put multiple things together to work as one. You know that when more than one of us comes together for a purpose, there's synergy in it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you put multiple rocks together, there's synergy in that.
Oh.
So you can do grids for healing. You can do grids for prosperity. You can do grids for all kinds of things.
I like it.
So you put stones of like-mindedness together, and you put them in patterns, usually in things like sacred geometry a lot of the times, but geometric patterns, whatever is pleasing to you, and then you connect them energetically with a stated purpose, and they work more powerfully together.
That is so cool.
Towards your purpose.
That is so cool. Okay, so you're going to talk about different families. You're going to talk about grids. I'm sorry, I missed the third one. What was the third one?
Oh, I said pendulums.
Pendulums, right. So what can you tell our listeners about pendulums?
Well, a pendulum is, in my world, it's a stone, but it can be a metal or any heavy object that is suspended from usually a chain, but it can be other things. And if you work with them and get to know one, most people have one that's their favorite, and they get to know it. They get to know that one. It knows them, and you can find lost objects with it. You can get answers with it. You can, it can be simple yes or no, or it can be more complicated. It depends on how you work with it and how you get it to respond to you.
That's very cool. I was under the understanding that it was only a yes or a no.
No.
No, you were wrong, Christine. There's more to it than that.
There certainly can be. Yes or no answers certainly are the simplest and easiest.
Right.
There can be a lot more to it. It depends. It depends on how much time, like anything else, if you want to put the time into it, then you get out of it what you put into it.
That's very, very cool. Wow. We are up to our second break already, Jody. Time is flying.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. I've got so many more questions to ask you, too. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just loving all the chatter in the chat room. So if you're not in the chat room, you should come on over and play.
I
And you can also call in and ask Jody a question about maybe one of your favorite rocks. So we are going to go for a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to dive into more questions for Jody Ann. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back.
Do you have something inspiring to say? Would you like a taste of being one of our inspired hosts? Get on the air on the Inspired Choices Network Open Mic Spotlight Show. The Open Mic Spotlight Show is your time to shine and inspire our global audience. Shows air at 9 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week. Claim your spot today. Simply contact our network owner at info@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Forget the days of 5 minutes of fame. Now you can have 55 minutes of fame.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message? The world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
You are listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Show here on Inspired Choices Network. To call in and ask questions, call 815-880-8255 in the U.S., 613-800-8736 in Canada, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now back to the show.
Wow, we got quite the conversation going on in the chat room, Jody Ann.
see that.
Wow, we're talking about something about boards, and we got rocks and pendulums. I mean, we're all over the place. I love it.
Yep. And I forgot about gem elixirs. That's a whole nother topic. Somebody said putting rocks in your water. Yes, you can create gem elixirs and put rocks in your water. You just have to know which ones are safe.
Okay, so don't just put any rock in your water, girls
That's
and boys.
Right.
You
That's
need
right.
You need to know what the hell you're doing.
That's right.
Okay, quick question for you. City, beach, or countryside?
Beach, no question.
No
Beach.
question, because you can go digging for new rocks and shells, right?
That and the ocean feeds my soul. It just feeds my something about the rhythm of it, my feet in the sand. It just feeds my soul.
So, do you have an opportunity to go there often?
Not as often as I'd like, but we go to Old Orchard Beach in Maine usually once or twice a year.
Ah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we all need to do that for our souls. That's awesome. So, tell me about the wild.
And I live in the country.
And you which?
I live in the country, so that's my second. Never the city.
Never the city. Yeah, it's a different energy. No problem. Yeah. So tell me about the wildest, craziest thing you've ever done, Jody Ann.
Well, that would be moving to West Virginia and becoming the assistant manager at a nudist resort.
Now, folks, I've heard a lot of things in my life, and it's very hard to shock me. That one shocked me.
Well, you asked.
I did ask. So, is that a job you do on the weekends, or?
I no longer do it, but I did it for 3 years.
Wow! And how much fun did you have there?
I'm 63 now. My only job is selling rocks.
Would that have been one of the reasons that your head was always down when you were walking, looking for the rocks?
Yeah, I did that before.
Well, that's an interesting job. Did you enjoy that job?
I did. I did.
That's awesome. Well, I didn't see that one coming at all.
Well,
yeah,
I know. That shocks everybody.
That one's awesome. I love it. So, Jody Ann, what's the most? When was the last time you were really uncomfortable?
I don't get uncomfortable very easily.
No.
No.
So have you ever been really uncomfortable?
Well, probably as a kid, and I got over it.
Yeah. So you're pretty easeful in any situation.
Pretty much. I mean, like before this call, I was a little bit nervous, and I just said, "Okay, it's time to do this. Take a big breath, get grounded. Let's go."
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. It's like take that step. Well, that's pretty awesome. So you obviously weren't like that always. Did you
No.
get to a certain age and you found yourself moving beyond that?
Well, I'm the oldest of 5, and I have been a take charge kind of person my whole life. I kind of took over the family very young, like at 2 and 3. So, no, I've always just done what had to be done.
You just got in there and did it.
Yep. I mean, I literally have scars on my body from that when I was younger, and I just somebody in one of the shows earlier was talking about chameleon, I think today, being a chameleon, and I've never heard it called that, but I always did what had to be done for everybody else, and it wasn't until I was in my 30s that I realized how toxic that was and said, I need to find me and let go of things, including family in some cases, and just be who and what I am. And that took some big breaths and some big steps, and I don't look back at all. I just don't. That's why I don't put it in my intro. I don't look back at it. I don't use it as an excuse. It doesn't form what I am now. It's in my past. I am who I am now because of the choices I've made to get here.
Yeah.
They aren't mistakes or regrets. They just are.
That's cool.
And you have me now.
I like that. I am who I am, and this is who I am today. That's awesome.
Yep.
Good for you, girl. So tell us, Jody Ann, what does a perfect day look like for you?
Oh, being able to get up and play with my little 7-month-old grandson who lives next door, and who's a cutie patootie.
He sure is.
And being able to play with my rocks, and I like getting stuff ready for the shows and for my website because it means I get to handle them and take pictures of them and look up information if it's a new rock to me. I like being able to help people. I called it uniquely rocking it because I like helping people will say to me, do you have this? And I'll be like, no, I haven't heard of that. So then I make it my mission to find that because I like helping find the unique and different. There's 4,800 different kinds of rocks in this world. So no one knows them. Yeah.
Wow.
So that we know that have been named, and that's not the ones that we've trademarked and done stupid things to. That's geologically rocks. So, I like going and hunting something that somebody's looking for and tracking it down and finding it at a reasonable price. And,
nice. So how many rocks do you personally have?
Oh, Lordy. I have... in my personal collection, I have a DVD shelf unit that fills. It's over 5 feet tall, and it's probably 4 feet 48 inches wide, and it is full of rocks.
So do you have a target on how many rocks you would like to have?
No. I also have over 140. I collect spheres, and I have over 140 unique spheres.
So what's a sphere?
A sphere is a ball that's been carved out of rock. I have rock balls.
Oh. So you have rocks and you have balls.
Yeah.
You're a unique woman, darling. And I'm telling you. You used to run, you used to help manage a news column. I mean, what else are you going to tell me?
I don't know. What else do you want to know?
I want to know everything. Whatever we can squeeze into this last 15 minutes, I want to know it all. Jody Ann, how will you know that you're making a difference in the world with your rock show?
Oh, with my rock show, I don't know. I just look at my kids and know that I've made a difference in the world. I look at my grandson and how he picks up the rocks, and my godson and how he plays with them and is drawn to certain ones, and I know that I've made a difference.
So simplistic and yet so powerful. I can see you watching them.
Yeah, I mean, I have a godson. He's 4 now, but when he was much younger, he would sit at my feet and just like dump the rocks out and put them back in, and dump them out and put them back in, and just, you know, and he'd be drawn. And he made me a grid. I have a picture of it. He went into my room in Herndon. I had a separate room there. I don't here in West Virginia, but in Virginia I did. And he took out a bunch of rocks, and he came out, and I have this huge piece of selenite, like a foot by a foot, and about 4 inches thick, and he arranged them all on the slab, and only in the way that a 3-year-old can do. But I took a picture of it. He made Mémère a grid.
Wow.
And you know, it was powerful, because I think 3-year-olds are tapped into the universe like none of us can possibly be.
Yeah.
They haven't lost touch like we have.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. We have a great question in the chat room. What's the difference between rocks and crystals, as energies aside?
Crystals are the shapes that rocks can be grown in. It's the molecular formation. In the metaphysical world, we use them interchangeably. Geologically, a rock is of a single chemical composition and can have more than one rock, can have more than one combined. A crystal is going to be a certain shape that they grow in, and will have only one usually in it, only one chemical composition. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining that right.
Well, it sounds pretty clear to me. Now, okay. What do I know? I mean, you're teaching me as we go right now, but I get the difference. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, in the metaphysical world, we use those words interchangeably, but right. In the geological world, they're two separate things.
Well, I like both. I like hearing both of them, and my brain definitely loves the science piece of it. So, and when we bring the science piece in, we can speak to anyone, whether they're into metaphysics or not.
Exactly.
So that's really, really awesome. Okay, so what's the one thing that you would really love the listeners to know about you that you rarely talk about?
Oh, I probably don't talk about it for a reason. I guess I would just like them to know that I kind of said it a little bit earlier. I'll never pretend to be an expert. But I know what I know, and I'm always willing to share what I know. And I will never try to say that my way is the only way, but I'm willing to share what works for me. And if that helps someone, then I love it.
Yeah. And so you said you go to a lot of different shows. You're out there sharing what you know with a lot of different people in a local level. Is that correct?
Yes.
So do you travel to different states or cities to do this work as well?
I don't. I could. I choose not to. My business That's what I say. The possibility of doing the show has opened my mind to a lot more possibilities. It really just started by doing some simple shows on Facebook, and it's just grown like crazy. And so now my mind is expanding yet again for 2018 into how this can grow into new things. And it's like, what can we do with this? How can I help others in it? You know, what's a new format? How can I do this? How can I, you know?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, continuing to look at the possibilities is always in my business brain is always essential. So you know that. You've heard me talk about that enough, I'm sure.
I mean, this was never even in my realm of thought until the last 6 weeks or so, and or however long, 3 weeks, I guess. And it's got my mind reeling now. And honestly, whether I win or not, this is something I have to run with. I hope I win, but it's something I have to run with. It's something I've realized there's a need for, and I have to figure out how to do it one way or another. I have to figure out how to bring some of this knowledge to people without charging an arm and a leg for classes.
Right. Well, you know what? You're already making a difference, because what I know is that the minute that we choose to say I'm moving forward, I'd like to contribute more, we already begin to. So thank you for that. And this show's been wonderful. I've been enjoying it. I know the people in the chat room have been having a great conversation. And sometimes they're not even including us too, are they? Like they're just going.
I haven't seen that. I see my husband just joined in the chat room. We may be in trouble now.
We won't tell him what we were saying before he joined us.
No, we won't. We won't. He probably knows it already, so.
That's awesome. Okay, we're going to go for our last break of the show, Jody, and when we get back, we're going to ask you some final questions before we log off for tonight. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll hear from Jody Ann when we get back right after this short commercial break.
Okay.
Do you have something inspiring to say? Would you like a taste of being one of our inspired hosts? Get on the air on the Inspired Choices Network Open Mic Spotlight Show. The Open Mic Spotlight Show is your time to shine and inspire our global audience. Shows air at 9 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week. Claim your spot today. Simply contact our network owner at info@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Forget the days of 5 minutes of fame. Now you can have 55 minutes of fame.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
You are listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Show here on Inspired Choices Network. To call in and ask questions, call 815-880-8255 in the U.S., 613-800-8736 in Canada, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now back to the show.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here with one of our radio show contestants, Jody Ann Roy. And Jody Ann, where can people connect with you? What is the name of your website and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all of that?
It's all the same, Flutter by Naturally. FlutterbyNaturally.com, Flutter by Naturally on Facebook, and Flutter by Naturally on Instagram.
That's fabulous. Now, where did you come up with that title?
Well, as you know, I was the assistant manager at a nudist resort.
Oh, geez, back to the nudist resort? This is awesome. Everybody just leaned into their radio, I'm telling you.
and, and I'm a photographer.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. Where's the videos?
And I was one of the few that was allowed to take pictures here because I got the appropriate releases and all that stuff. And I took some beautiful pictures, actually. But I've always liked butterflies, and so flutterby is a variation of flutterby. It's actually the Old English of butterfly. And naturally came from, I love nature. I find my grounding in nature. I was taking pictures of people in nature, and now I do rocks in nature. So it went way back to the photography business, and I've kept it with the rocks. So it's got multi-meanings to me. It's got my butterflies. Butterflies are an animal of transformation and renewal and freedom, and that all has meaning for me in my life. And naturally speaks to the nature. We do it naturally. It's what comes naturally. It is nature. It's about the universe. It's about the rocks, the natural being. So that's where it all comes from.
That's so cool. That's so cool. You have a beautiful website, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you.
So what are some lasting words that you would like to leave with the listeners about this proposal of this radio show and what you love?
Well, if you're intrigued by what I'm offering, then go listen and go let them know and let me know what you want to hear about. And even if you don't let me know what you want to hear about so we can figure this out together.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm in it for the long run at this point.
That is so cool, Jody Ann. Wow. So Jody Ann, did you ever have a rock that you came across that you didn't like, that gave you energy that you just didn't want to be around?
Yes. And usually when that happens, it's because it's something that you really have to work at. It's something
Say more.
It's something that's deep, that needs work, and you have to go at it for it. If you really don't like it, it's that deep-seated thing that you don't want to deal with.
I never have any of those. My life is perfect. It's always been perfect.
I know, so you wouldn't know. But some of us have those deep-seated things, and when you come across that rock that it's like, I don't care for obsidian, but I find it too grounding. Obsidian tends to have a harsh grounding, and I'm not repelled by it or anything. It's just not a favorite of mine. But sometimes if somebody tells me that they really have a hard time dealing with a rock, if you look at the properties and if you look at what it's addressing in your life, then there's probably something in there that needs some work.
So true regarding anything, and what an absolute gift the rocks are being to people if it's actually repelling them. I love that.
Yep.
That is very, very cool. Okay, well, listen, you heard Jody Ann. She is asking for your support. She's asking for you to promote her, to like her, to talk to us, to let us know. Great promotion, Jody Ann. I love it.
I'm shameless. What can I say?
You know what? That's what this is all about. It's a contest, girl. You got to do it.
That's right.
So if you would like to get in touch with Jody Ann, if you'd like to learn more about what she's doing and creating in the world and what her and her business, along with her daughter, are doing, you can connect with them online, of course, through their website, through their social media links. And if you're listening to this in the replay, all of these links are in the replay that you can go and check out the information there. And you can also connect with them and possibly find them in person where you can actually see the rocks. But they can order the rocks from you. They don't have to physically go to you, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mail them.
You mail them. How does it get any easier than that?
I mail them.
Well, thank you so much, Jody Ann. It has been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Open Mic Spotlight Radio Show. We will be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Central. 7 a.m. Mountain and 6 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, continue to create you with joy and inspiration.